Monique James of Renegade Creative Media Group, and I'm here. If you are looking at our Foursquare thing we've got going on, to my right is Mignon, underneath of the Arizona Regional Economic Development Foundation. Underneath Mignon is Mark Schmidt of the Cochise College Small Business Development Center. And today's guest, we have Vicki Simmons, who is the Deputy Director of the Southeastern Arizona at Work. So thank you all so much for tuning in. We're going to be talking today about answering your questions about labor and unemployment with Vicki, our local expert here in our community. But before we jump into that, I know Mark and Mignon both have updates to provide because the information has been changing every minute. And if you've been following along on the news, you've probably heard some news. So let's consult with our local trusted advisors with regard to the programs and the packages and the support that is available, has been available for our local small business community.
You want to go first, Mignon, or you want me to go?
Sure, I'll go, and then you can fill that all in. So it's kind of a gloomy, bad Thursday. When Monique put me on, I said it might as well be a Saturday and we should just go home. It's a little depressing today. Everybody's run out of money. However, here's a chance for us really, as we've talked all along, to really work on your business plan, work on some other things, not to give up hope, even though it is all difficult. Even though the PPP is run out and they're not processing things, you can still fill out your applications. You can still get things ready because there will be another round. We don't know what that looks like. The other thing that I would encourage everybody to do is to reach out to your legislators. Now is the time for them to hear from you, your stories, because your stories tell a better story than anything else. I mean, I meet with them regularly once a week. I go through, but when we hear your stories and we can say this business is affected and give that real example, those are the best ways. So I encourage everybody to really reach out to your legislators. If you need their information, both Mark and I can give that to you. So I will pass it on to Mark.
I think another real important thing now, more so than ever, if you miss this round, you need to sign up with Mignon or myself to receive updated information as this happens, because we're watching legislation continually and we're getting information daily. Even now, I have about 5 emails from the SBA about different things. And so you're going to get the latest, greatest, newest. But it's kind of like listen to your what's going on in the news, but boy, cautiously, you want to make sure, once again, you're listening to the proper news. You know, they actually are processing. If you've been approved and don't have your money and got approved, that's still going to be processed. You know what I mean? But they're not accepting new applications. They're not accepting new lenders. So what you need to do is you need to, if you haven't already, sign up with Mignon and myself on our email list, because we're sending out the blast when we find out it's going out, you know, as soon as we can. Because once again, she did say new programs will be launched, and we don't even know. The SBA this morning basically said is no additional guidance at this time. You know what I mean? So no one's making any statements until they get guidance. But as soon as they get guidance, you don't want to be left out a second time around. You know, because when this money is allocated, when it runs out, the SBA doesn't have the authority to keep loaning money until Congress approves to say, yeah, you have this dollar amount in the kitty. And it's interesting, Mignon and I were talking just a couple days ago that we said, I wonder how long before it runs out. And we were pretty close on guessing this morning, you know, and that's exactly what happened. So enough about that, but I'm going to answer a question. We have the 3 M's, Monique, Mignon, and Mark. We let Vicki Simmons come on because she's got 2 M's in her last name.
Right.
So that's how she came
in. To tee Vicki up, though, we have been telling you all, the people that have your own business that are 1099s, we were telling you, get your unemployment. There's still avenues for you. And so as Mark and I were talking, and Monique, who to bring on next, we told you that definitely Vicki has a lot of information. So we really want to be able to turn the bulk of the time over to Vicki. And please don't forget, when you've got your questions, to set them in there so we know you're here and can get your questions answered by Vicki, and it'll be super easy, easier than you calling the number and having to be on hold because they're short-staffed. We were asking her earlier how many people are in the office and who can process paperwork. So without further ado, please, Vicki, take it away.
Well, first of all, thank you for inviting me, because we always want to get out the news of Arizona at Work. We're in Sierra Vista at 2600 East Wilcox Drive. And then we also have a Douglas office at 515 East 7th Street, and we are open 8 to 5 Monday through Friday. And I am actually the Title I side of the house, which is more to do with training, but also we have employment services in our office, and you can come down and see us, and we can assist you with filing for your unemployment, asking questions, status of claims, but all of that is available online. If you don't feel safe coming out, we are definitely doing social distancing, so you're welcome to come down to our office. And on March 27th, the president signed into the CARES Act, signed into law the CARES Act, which is the Coronavirus Aid, Relief, and Economic Security Act, and it's $2 trillion. So as Mignon and Mark had just discussed, some of those programs have run out of money, but we are still processing those unemployment claims, at least the state of Arizona is. And I wanted to give you the 3 types of programs that are in the CARES Act. The first one is the federal pandemic unemployment compensation. So that is $600 weekly payment above the $240 that the state of Arizona authorizes for unemployment. However, you have to be eligible for at least $1 of benefits for unemployment. So we had a lady yesterday that wasn't eligible for unemployment, at least $1, so she was not eligible to obtain the $600. So that is called the FPUC program. Then we have the PECU program, all of these acronyms, and a lot of people don't but it's the Pandemic Emergency Compensation Program, and it extends the unemployment benefits for an extra 13 weeks, which normally it's 26 weeks. Now it's 39 weeks that you can collect unemployment through July 31st of 2020. And then there is the PUA program, and that is the Pandemic Unemployment Assistance, and that gave eligibility to people that normally do not have the eligibility, that meet the eligibility requirements for unemployment. And those individuals include, they've exhausted all rights to such benefits, they're self-employed, they're seeking part-time employment, they lack sufficient work history, or otherwise do not qualify for regular unemployment compensation or extended benefits under state or federal law. So those are the 3 programs that are included in the CARES Act. The state of Arizona did push out the $600 beginning last Sunday, and they've paid out already $55 million. So, and over the next couple of weeks, I've been told that they're going to go back to March 29th to backdate that $600. So it may be a couple of weeks before you receive that back pay. So just to give you a little bit of numbers, since the week ending March 21st, 346,000 Arizonans have filed for unemployment. And the state of Arizona has paid out $38,730,000 since the week ending March 21st. And there continues to be approximately 165,000 continued claims that people are drawing for unemployment. Now, one of the things that I want to caution you about, our offices can actually fax papers in or email papers in, that documents that you're getting from Arizona Department of Economic Security, and it's no charge. What we have found is people are going to other businesses and actually paying to have these documents faxed in. So there's no need to do that. You can come in and we fax them for no charge. So now the bad news is that the $600 extra is actually taxable income. So you have to be cautious of that. You can elect to have your taxes, your federal and state taxes, withheld from your unemployment. So when you file your taxes in 2021, then you will be covered. So, but be very cognizant of that it is taxable income. So,
I have a question, Vicki.
Yes.
And you know, in the beginning, when you said you had to be eligible to receive $1, you know, in Arizona compensation,
Right.
then you would be eligible for the 600. Explain that $1. What's that all
about? So what it's saying that if you're eligible to receive anywhere from $1 to $240 of unemployment, then you're eligible. But we just had a lady call yesterday that was not eligible for unemployment, so she was not eligible for the $600.
What would make you not eligible for unemployment?
Yeah.
One of the things that we're finding is there's a look back period, and the look back period is the first 4 of the last 5 quarters. So they're not looking at your current wages, they're looking back. So and your earnings in one quarter have to be 390 times the current minimum wage. So 390 times $12 an hour is $4,680. So if you haven't earned that in one quarter, you may not be eligible.
Okay, but you're saying that people can still apply even if they don't know, because it's a lot, right? And it's awfully confusing of, am I going to get money? Am I not? I mean, Mark and I have told people apply anyway, because then if you hear no, you hear no, but don't leave it to your own intuition of what you think of where you might be, because it does get so confusing of where you are.
So if you're a self-employed individual, not doing W-2 wages,
right,
are you taking the net income that shows on your tax returns and doing the dividing by 12 to come up with what your monthly income would be? Is that how they're arriving at?
Different with that. Yes, I think it is your net income.
Okay.
I am not positive about that, Mark. So I would need to get back with you on that.
Okay. So if I had a business and I showed a loss last year, I could be in trouble.
But this is where we talked about, remember last week we were talking about, that's why we tell people, even if you have your own business, that you should pay yourself, that you should make yourself a W-2 employee, because when you do that, you can get those benefits. And then you can look back and say, here's what I was receiving from my company, right?
Exactly. Yes.
Yeah. And then Vicki, the third program that you mentioned, where you said the person could be a 1099 or hadn't kind of worked in a traditional job setting. Can you go back to that? Because that was the one where you were speaking about. It kind of made me think of small business owners.
Right. If say, for example, if you're a cosmetologist and you rent a booth and you're getting 1099, you're getting a 1099, and then you're eligible for unemployment because you're a small business earner. We actually had a nail technician come in the other day that, had been doing that job for 29 years and said this is the first time that she's ever been in the situation where she had to file for unemployment. But, we tell everybody, as Mignon said, to please file, because you're going to get that letter that says, yes, you're eligible, or no, you're not eligible. But it's easier to file than not to file. There's actually two ways you can file for your unemployment. It's at azui.com, or there's a 1877 number. It's 1-877-600-2722. However, the waits have been anywhere from 2 to 5 hours for the call center. So it is much easier. If you don't have a computer at home, you're welcome to come to any of the workforce offices in Cochise County, and we also serve Graham and Greenlee counties. So there's offices available there. Those have limited hours. And then if you're wondering about the status of your claim, you can also go online and check the status of your claim, because we are getting a lot of phone calls asking about the status of the claim, and we only have one person here that is able to access those screens. So she is on the phone constantly, and she's very good about calling people back and explaining to them, if they have a code that maybe they need a student schedule or they need something else. But as I said, she's only one person in the office, but you can actually go online, and it's the same way that you file for a weekly benefit. You put your Social Security number in, there's a drop-down box that says status of claim. So,
Vicki, I have another question. So
Sure.
Typically when you get unemployment, you have to be out looking for a job each week, right? And you have to do a little report. Is that waived at any place? Because right now people actually can't go out and look for work.
Yes, that is waived. You do not have to look for work at this point in time because of the COVID-19 virus. And also, one of our staff in our Douglas office has put a note that you can also take a photograph of your documents and email those to uiclaim.docs at azdes.com. And the reason for that, again, that's saving them from going to a business and having to pay. And plus, if they don't want to come into our offices.
Now, I know there's some opportunities here where people are looking to hire people. I know the SBA's got a call out there. They're looking for all kinds of people. Even in my own office, we're looking for a business analyst right now. Are you seeing a surge in certain sectors where, because you do that side of the house too, where you help people get jobs and you help employers post jobs for people that they're looking to hire? You actually screen applicants, but sort of talk a little bit about that.
Right, and I did some research this morning in order to make that available to everyone. There are several places that I went this morning, and some of those places that we use regularly. One is Indeed.com, one is azjobconnection.gov, and that is the statewide database that Arizona at Work uses. And there were actually 396 jobs listed in the Sierra Vista area. And those consisted of anywhere from retail to restaurants to fast food to defense contractors to Fort Huachuca government jobs. And then also I went to usajobs.gov, and there were several jobs listed there. And then the state of Arizona is putting out a hiring now list that you can get at arizona@atwork.com. And they have listed in Sierra Vista, Fry's Food, Walgreens, Accent Care, Bayada Home Care Incorporated, and they're all looking for positions and looking to hire. And then I did look at Cochise College. There's 12 positions there available. Mark, I didn't see your business analyst position.
Yeah, they're actually, I was just this morning online to, hey, get that up there.
Right,
I was like before I came here, we were just in conversations about that.
Right, and then Canyon Vista had 19 jobs available, and a lot of those were RNs. Walmart, of course, is hiring. Teleperformance is hiring. So there are positions available, and we're still reaching out and contacting employers in the Tri-County area to see if if they're hiring, and we're always touching base with our business services representatives from both sides of the house. So we are aware that people are hiring. People are actually coming in and doing some job search in our resource room, even if they have a part-time job or they've been laid off. But one of the things that has been introduced more so in the state of Arizona and across the country is the shared work program. So you may share a job during this crisis with someone. And for example, if your hours are reduced by 30%, and depending on your amount of pay, you would receive 30% of the unemployment weekly benefit and the additional $600.
Oh,
So
that's I had somebody ask me about that yesterday. I have a question that someone just texted me in. Can I?
okay.
Yeah.
Okay. The question is, how does severance and payout of PTO play into this? So can you be denied because you're receiving that?
Yes, you can. It depends on the amount that you received, and that actually depending on how far that goes out. So if you receive a large amount, you will have to wait to be eligible for unemployment.
So you just have to wait the period through, and then you would apply at a later time. Is that how that would work?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. Well, you can apply now, but then you would wait to start receiving your funds.
Okay.
We've got a question on Facebook, Vicki. You mentioned that the additional $600 through the extra program is taxable.
Yes.
Is that correct? Is that being taxed at a standard rate? Do we know, or should people that are getting it just consult with their tax advisor to know what rate that extra $600 is going to be taxed at?
Yes, it really depends on your adjusted gross income. So they definitely should meet with their tax advisor, because that varies. So they could have other household income, and you have to bring that into account.
Yeah, because it's taxed at your tax rate.
Yeah.
Yeah. So whatever your tax rate was before from last year, what you projected in, that will be the rate that it's taxed at.
So
Correct.
once again, I'm a small business owner and I need to hire some people, so I should come and see you.
Yes, definitely.
And
Because
get listed on that side of it too.
People are still looking for positions. Yes.
And remember, this isn't going to last forever. So it's a good time to start really thinking about what is it as we come out of this that you need for your business. And really give yourself some time and some thought to think about what do you need for a job description. And Vicki and her team can help with that too, as you're coming in and saying, look at the skill sets of what you think you need. And this is a good time then to get on that list so that when we're all ready to reopen, you're in a good spot.
Here's an interesting one too, is I was watching a webinar the other day, and I'm still terrible at this. You wouldn't hire me online, but there's a whole process. When you're taking an online interview, like we're watching each other right now, is where your eyes go to the camera, what's in the background. There's a lot of things that go to that. I know you guys do training, how to do your resume and how to, things like that. Are you guys going to be doing some training on that too?
Yes, we actually have signed up for Zoom. So if anybody's interested in doing a virtual workshop, how to do your resume, how to do job applications, interviewing with confidence, anything along jobs, we can actually assist you virtually on that too.
That's awesome. With our military spouse, I'm the co-lead for the Huachuca chapter of the Military Spouse Professional Network. And at our meeting our last month's meeting was a virtual meeting. We had Eric on in our meeting, talking about all of the resources that are available specifically for the military spouses, but definitely also available for the community. So that's really good. I was going to ask about, because you mentioned, Vicki, that your office is still open. You're running pretty much a skeleton crew in the office, and a lot of the staff is working from home. And now that you all have Zoom, will you also be doing maybe virtual appointments? If somebody
can do that
and doesn't want to, they can set an appointment and do it via Zoom. That's awesome.
Yes, definitely. definitely we can do that. We tend to be the best kept secret, and we try to get that word out because we do offer a lot of services to our employers also, such as training for their employees. We offer on-the-job training if they find the perfect candidate, but they feel like, well, they don't have the experience. Well, we can do on-the-job training, and we reimburse up to 50% of gross wages for up to 3 months. And we hope that once the 3 months is over, that employer actually becomes a permanent employee for that. So we do offer a lot of job services to employers and job seekers.
And you have that internship program too, right? Because we benefited from having your interns work for us for a period of time, which is a fantastic service as well. You get the benefit of having somebody come in and work inside your business. Do you want to talk about your internship program a little, Vicki? Because that's such a powerful.
I've had two of them too, and it was an awesome
and they're
experience.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
Right. And that's more geared towards our youth trying to learn a new skill or upskill. So we usually work a youth between 160 and 200 hours, and we actually pay the wages. So you don't have to go through the hiring process. So they're actually our employee, but they're working with you to learn a new skill and to help out. So it is a wonderful program. And we also have a transitional program, which we can spend 20% of our funding. So if you have someone that hasn't been in the workforce in a very long time and they need those skills, well, you hire them, we reimburse 100% of the gross wages, and there's no obligation for you to keep them, because what they're doing is they're learning job skills in order to go out and find a different job. But the ones that we've done, I would say the majority of the employers have kept that employee on staff.
I just want to relate an interesting one to me. I've had 3 of them different occasions, and I remember the first ones we had them do market research when we had the things with the motels. Nobody even knew how many rooms we had, what the occupancy rates were, and they followed up with a survey the next year, after that. And these were young kids, and the market research that they performed was unbelievable. One of them later, she emailed me, it was like 3 or 4 years later, she became an economist, because of that. And she's doing market research from it. So it was, who would think as a high school student, to be introduced to do market research and then to end up doing that. You know what I mean? It was an awesome experience for me. It really was.
Yeah,
really was.
Hey, Vicki, can you talk to us a little bit about, I think there's some fear now that the PPP funds have run out, the SBA isn't taking any more applications. Are you all in jeopardy of running out of money? Is that something that that is on the horizon, or can you speak to that at all?
Not that we're aware of at this time. Our funding we're funded every year, but our funds last for 2 years. So as we were told yesterday on a conference call that our new funding allocations should be coming out shortly for the state of Arizona, and then the state goes through a process to bring it down to the 12 local areas. So we're not anticipating that. We're actually funded through 2021 at this point in time. So no, that isn't a problem at this time.
Okay, and how about the unemployment benefits? Is there a limit? I'm sure it's not an endless bucket, right?
Right.
For benefits, and do you see that running out at any point? Is there? I know it's a real difficult question to answer.
Right. I haven't heard that anything is going to happen, and plus the $600, we haven't heard that is ending. That ends on actually the week of July 31st, 2020. So that will end at that point in time, unless Congress comes back and does another allocation or something of that sort.
I've also heard a lot of people where they just said, well, we don't really need it. Like, we're okay. My spouse has a job. We're okay. And I tell people, please go and apply. This is your money. This isn't a being proud of moment. This is, you have an opportunity to have some of this money to be able to help you, because you don't know what next week looks like, right? I mean, we all see that things are changing on the daily. You know, in New York, they've extended their stay at home till May 15th. We don't know what it's going to look like here in Arizona. Mark and I were on a call yesterday. People have been asking us, you know, how would you reopen and what would you say? And Mark and I are both like, that is not our job.
Yeah.
Right? The healthcare industry at all. We don't know about this. This is a public safety issue, and that needs to come first. It's a public health issue, excuse me. And, you know, we're all here on the backside to help the businesses, not to weigh in on how soon things should open. We all want to get out and return to whatever sense of normal is going to be, but we want to make sure that we're perfectly healthy.
Vicki, on the employer side, do you guys get involved in helping companies write HR handbooks? Do you get involved in any of that?
No, we do not do that.
Okay,
That's not
okay.
one of the services that we do.
Okay. That's something we will be with Min Young, launching some stuff in them areas. Once again, if you see something that you're looking to do, please let us know. We have Monique in the room here too. I'm sure there's going to be some just marketing and posting and pushing social media to, hey, take a look at my website. I'm looking for people. I'm sure that, you know, is something that needs to happen.
Yeah, M&M Live is for our audience, you know, and that's what the column is about. That's what this is about, is to answer your questions. So as we're looking at next topics and things we can do for the business community out there, we want to be that resource, and we want this show and this broadcast to really be helpful to you all. So let us know what your questions are and who we need to bring on as our next speaker. We try to get somebody that's got M's in their name somewhere.
I know it's got to be. I know this too, is we have two CPAs in the room right now. Vicki and Min Young are both CPAs. And I think that might be a good thing moving forward, is let's get a CPA and put them in the hot box.
Yeah, we'd like to do something just on the record keeping. I think that, you know, hindsight is a wonderful thing, right? But let's also learn from it. So as you all have been trying to fill out those PPPs, and even as you're trying to get your unemployment, you know, for those that have their small businesses in the 1099s, wouldn't it be nice if you could just hit that button and have your correct financials right up? And it makes it so much easier than now having to run to your accountant, getting financials done for the past year and a half, you know, in those quarters, just to have that right away. I mean, this just shows how important this really is to have your records up to date.
Especially as these new programs roll out for possible loans and stuff like that, is the people that, I don't want to say are being funded, the people that are being funded are the people that have that kind of information available.
Yep, and had it readily available, right?
Yep, for sure. Yeah. So anything, Vicki, you want to talk about that we didn't cover, as far as like what you do and something that you'd like to see us do that could help you?
Yeah.
Well, we also can offer entrepreneurial training, but what we've been doing is sending everyone to you, Mark. But if there's money that's needed to assist in that entrepreneurial training, we can help the business owner with that also. So that's one of the things we haven't been doing, because we've been referring everyone to you. But in the WIOA Act, then we are able to assist with entrepreneurship training. So that's, you know, employers are our number one customers, even though job seekers are very important. But we know if we don't have employers that are thriving, we will not be able to have job seekers find positions and our economy grow. So,
for me, you've been a valuable resource, since she's in the downtown center, the same place my offices are, at the old hospital on Wilcox. And I just, around the corner, I'd probably bump into Vicki 4 or 5 times a week, sometimes 4 or 5 times a day, to be able to say, hey, let's do this or let's do that. So it's just like working with Mignon or Monique. There's 4 people here in the room that know each other, that work with each other, that are always here to help each other. That's what I like about everybody on the screen right now.
Yeah.
We got a question that just came in, because we touched on this at the top. We kind of led with the downer news.
Right.
That the PPP.
Trying to get the bad news out first.
Yeah, we had to get that out of the way first. Do you all at this moment know of any other programs that are available, or should, just like you said, you were encouraging business owners to prepare for the next wave when those applications open again?
Yep. Go ahead, Mignon.
I'll talk about this. Last week we had our credit union on, and I got to tell you that there are many community banks that are still out there to help you. And so I would still continue. Just because those funds have run out doesn't mean that you should stop doing what you were doing. So you should continue to have those conversations with your banker and your accountant. You should continue to see if you can get some loans. They're dropping the rates on a lot of loans. Those banks are still wanting to work with you. If you run, and even, I know there's some lists out there, but if you're trying to find another bank, contact any of us on the screen. We can get you the names of some other banks. Honestly, the credit union's doing a fantastic job. I had a question from somebody yesterday, and I sent Mark Fair an email yesterday afternoon and said, I know you're swamped. Do you know that he got back at 8:00 at night last night with us to let us know where that status is? So I got to tell you, they're super, super responsive, but continue to have those conversations with your lenders, because those PPP loans on some of those programs, it was a loan, right? Let's not, everybody wants to think that it was a grant, but it's not. You have to do certain things in order for it to become a forgivable loan. And so you may still be best off by, meeting with your banker and seeing what they can do to help you.
Right now, I have about $1 million in the pipeline with several banks on people wanting to borrow money, nothing to do with the disaster loan or the EIDL or the $10,000 advance. Yeah. And right now, all SBA loans have a 6-month deferment on not having to start your payments on them. These are new 7A and 504 and microloans. And I know there's several, and I hate this word, but I'm going to throw it out there because people call me, hey, Mark, where's my grant to start my business?
You are the grant money.
Yeah.
You are the grant money.
Yeah. But
$3
with that and the caveat, we actually, with the SBDC, we have a task today where we have some additional monies for some additional programs that we're probably going to be launching. We're not going to stand on the corner and have a bag full of money and say, here's your money, but we're actually bringing on more resources and trying to implement more programs. And it could be, from training to who knows what. I tried to get vouchers so people could go see an accountant.
Yeah.
It would be better than giving you a grant.
He's just come out with a bunch of new resources also, the USDA, and have extended that. So I'm going to be taking a look at that, and we'll work with all of us right here in this virtual room on pulling programs together to help our business community and see what that might look like.
And I even think our Sierra Vista Herald has some match money for marketing and advertising.
Yep. They do.
Yeah.
Mark, follow-up question about the SBA loan with the 6-month deferment. How is that working? Are they adding those payments to the back end of the loan? Anne Marie says she hasn't been able to get clarification about.
First thing, you have to connect and contact your bank, okay, to make sure that they're in line and that they understand and that they're doing the program. That's the first thing. And basically what they're really doing, it's almost like the car loans where they're deferring it for 6 months. So it's almost like the loan is starting and the first payment is in 6 months, and that's when then you'd start paying interest. Is that how you understood it, Mignon?
That's exactly how I understood it. But again, communication is paramount.
Yeah.
On anything, even though they say on student loans or whatever else it might be, they may say it's automatic. Don't assume it's automatic. Communicate with them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I had a couple banks this last week, not going to mention any names, but I knew of the person. They had those existing loans. I reached out and said, are you getting your deferments? I go, what are you talking about? They contacted their bank, and their bank said, what are you talking about?
Yeah.
And then, they filled out a pile of paperwork. Once the bank became aware and followed the rules of what they wanted to do, their bank agreed to do it.
And no, but the banks. I mean,
no, not at all.
There's so much information. All of us in this room could spend every minute of every day on a webinar getting new and different information. So it's very difficult to stay up on what just happened, because I bet you by the time we end this broadcast and I look at my emails, there's 3 new things that have just transpired in this hour. So we're certainly not faulting the banks or faulting any entity for not having that information. It takes a while for it to filter down. Then you're getting the information, then you got to figure out how does it apply to my business, and then how does it apply to my clients.
And here's the key words. Key words on everything going forward, no matter what it is. You may be eligible. Maybe. Okay. It might be forgiven.
Yeah.
Okay. And the only thing I know for certain, it's gonna change. And so all of those things, as they go about, they didn't think about what are we going to do about this problem. So then someone comes up with a rule to try to navigate around that problem. And it's not like anybody's changing the rules in the middle of the game. There was actually a rule they created that wasn't there that they're trying to use to comply to make the game work. That's more how this whole thing's working. I'm pretty confident that some more stuff is going to come out there. I have no idea what it's going to be. The SBA this morning said, we don't know. We're waiting to see what it's going to be. And once again, too, is pay attention to what's going on and make sure you make contact with us so you can get on our list so we can actually get that information to you. And I can't state this enough, and we've said it a million times. Make sure your accounting is going forward proper.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That you're doing it properly. And get some help if you're not.
Yeah, and it's the more we know about your concerns out there, and then you let us know and you convey that to us in writing or communicate to us somehow. Mark and I too were on the phone with our legislators every week. I've got a teleconference this afternoon with the governor and looking at how do we reopen, what are the problems that we're having right now. And when we hear the real stories, we can get you answers, or at least to bring that to someone's attention. I know Anne Marie is talking about how she's getting different answers, and it is very concerning, Anne Marie. And there's a lot of people that are in that same position that you are. And I would say that you just continue to try to get answers from them. And if you can't reach out to us, and let's say if we, need to get in touch with one of our legislators to put pressure on them to get an answer.
Exactly.
Good.
Exactly.
That's good. So this has been a great conversation. Very, very good information. You're right, Vicki. The Arizona at Work office is the best kept secret.
Yeah.
We have to change that. I love that you mentioned, yes, people are dealing with job losses and transitions in those areas. And there is definitely support if they qualify with unemployment and things like that. But I also like that you mentioned that there are still jobs available.
Yes, definitely.
Hiring. And for somebody like me that runs a very non-traditional business where I don't have an office and I can float around and I just need the internet, knowing that the internship program, I've used the Professional Youth Quest before in the past, and now businesses like mine that operate in the marketing space are growing. I'm swamped. So there is still, and Mignon had mentioned this in the very first Ask M&M Live, with the resilience and really just adapting a mindset of being flexible. If that means, like Anne Marie's going back and forth with people, hey, leverage the resources that are available to you. Put Mark to work. Let Mignon support you with figuring out what the next best steps are. Vicki, we're so grateful to have a resource like your office here in this community, and to be able to have had this conversation with you and hear from you what's going on and what's available, so that our small business community can make the best decisions for right now while still being flexible, because the information can change.
Yeah.
In 5 minutes.
Exactly. Yeah.
This has been very good. So good. Do you have anybody have any final thoughts, words, anything?
I got a quick.
There. Can I just say, hang in there. We know that it's tough. Don't forget to take care of yourself. I think, we talk a lot about getting information, doing that, but it's okay to take a break. It's okay to take a day off. It's okay to take a deep breath and realize that we're all in this together. And we know that it's a difficult and trying time.
I got a kick out of a message Min Young left a couple nights ago. She goes, "I'm going dark." And I know she was working, 20 hours a day, nonstop. And finally, one time she said, "Mark, I'm going dark." So, okay, don't call her for a while.
Yeah.
But big thing here too is, like I say, learn how to sell beyond your geographic region that you're currently selling. Reassess your products. It's not about lowering price. Maybe you can add more value to increase pricing, on some services that you're doing, or maybe expanding services, or maybe leveraging partnerships with other people like we are. We have 4 people here in the room that we've leveraged our resources to better serve yourself. So small businesses need to be doing that right now too. And that's kind of just some things. And if let's say you're getting, the wrong answer, or, don't know what to do, call any one of us or hook up with us. We'll try you. If we don't know, we're going to try and get you the best information that we have available at that time.
Yeah.
Well, I would like to close with just to be very vigilant to file your weekly unemployment claims, because if you get 2 weeks behind, the unemployment system will kick you out and then you will have to start all over again. So you can begin filing on Sundays. And if you don't have a computer at home, again, on Monday, come into our office and you utilize our resource room.
So good. Thank you so much
for being with us today, Vicki.
And good.
Thank you.
So for those of you that are watching, whether you're watching this on the Arizona Regional Economic Development Foundation page or the Cochise College Small Business Development Center page, let us know who you want to hear from. Continue to share your questions, ask your questions. If you need support, if you've been trying to get answers, let us know, because I guarantee you, Mark and Mignon probably know the person, and they probably have the person on speed dial, and we could get them on for an episode to get you the answers that you need. If you need that help, you need that support, let us know. This is what community does.
Yeah.
So thank you all so much for tuning in. Thank you, Vicki, for being here. You all are doing great work at the office, so please stay safe and stay healthy, because we need you. We need you.
Thank you.
Thanks, everyone.
We will.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Yes. Bye.
Bye.